I lost about 15 kgs and went from this to this. I was bulked up, I had a whole bunch of body fat. Now I'm lean, I've got a six-pack, I'm feeling good, I'm looking good. There's a few things that change when you get really lean, and today I want to talk about those changes. And when I say lean, I'm talking somewhere between 10 to 12% body fat, just to give you a number. Now the first benefit of being super lean that no one talks about is your increased athleticism. Your muscle to weight ratio changes completely. Back then you were 93 kgs, you had a whole bunch of muscle, yes, but you were also heavy. Now you have the same amount of muscle, but you're 75 kgs. So you have the same amount of muscle you had when you were 93 kgs. Now you're 75 kgs. Power output increases. This makes you way better at sports like athletics, sprinting, running, jumping, push-ups, pull-ups, all of that. All these sports that require your body weight. You have insane power output. You're able to jump higher, you're able to run faster, you're able to run longer. Your cardio capacity has increased because you become an absolute athlete. The reason you become an athlete is because there's less weight to carry. You feel lighter. It's easier to move. You move quicker. When you get super lean, you just become way more athletic. There's a reason why the top sprinters are insanely low body fat. It's because every kg of body fat can remove milliseconds from their time. It's almost like they're wearing a weighted vest because body fat isn't active tissue. It doesn't make them run faster. So they don't need that fat. They get as lean as they can while still having good performance. Most of these sprinters are about 8 to 10% body fat because every gram of fat matters. That's why they get extremely lean and they have these extremely clean diets. Think of some of the best gymnasts. Most of them are lean. Think of like some of the best quarterbacks in football. Most of them are lean. Think of most of the best athletes. Most of them are lean. Sports that require a lot of body weight activity, they need to be lean because being lean makes them better, makes them faster, makes them stronger for their weight. If you want to get insanely good at pull-ups, it's not about getting more muscle mass, it's about getting leaner, getting lighter. That's how you increase your performance, and that's a really cool benefit you get when you get lean. More energy. Now I don't know the science behind this or why it happens, but back then when I was 93 kgs, definitely I had less energy. Like I didn't have more energy to do sports. I wasn't really that active. I didn't really want to do running. I didn't really want to do all those kinds of sports. But now that I'm lighter, I have more energy to do those kinds of things. I think it's because there's less energy that goes to maintaining your fat and your build. Now this is a really cool benefit, but you look bigger than you actually are. A lot of people think they need to get to 200 pounds, they think they need to get to 100 kgs body weight to look big, but no, that's just bulking up. You don't need to bulk up, you actually need to cut down. If you cut down and get lean, it changes the shape of your muscle, it changes the definition, the cuts, the detail, the vascularity. That's what makes you look bigger, that's what makes you look like a savage. So on camera you look bigger, when you remove your shirt you look bigger. The only downside to being lean is, yes, when you wear clothes you look smaller, when you wear baggy clothes especially, but clothes fit extremely well when you lean. When you're 12%, 10% body fat, it creates the shape in the clothes, it creates indentations, it creates dimension into the clothes you wear, which makes you look better in the clothes. Being leaner just makes your life better in so many different ways. Lastly is getting leaner makes you more disciplined, because the things you have to do to get to 10% body fat are you need to track your calories, you need to stay consistent with training in the gym, you need to really stay dialed in on your nutrition. That discipline when you lean spills over to other areas of your life. That discipline when you lean, I realized with my YouTube channel I was more committed when I was leaner. When I was bulked, you have all these bad habits, you don't have a good relationship with food, you're just eating and you can't be disciplined with your body. But when you lean, you fasted, you dialed in, you're just more disciplined in your life in general. The way your face looks when you lean is completely different. Back then when I was bulked, my face looked kind of puffy, it looked kind of round, but now it looks a little bit more defined, and you can see the bones, you can see sort of my jawline, you can see everything popping, you can see my cheekbones under my face, you can see on my cheeks it hollows out a little bit, and this makes you look more attractive. I definitely look way better now than back then. So yes, getting leaner increases the female attraction for sure. I do notice also in the gym that your pumps are way better. You look way more insane because your veins are popping when the blood flows, but it's a lot easier to see that muscle also. Your workouts just feel insane because you want that pump, you chasing the pump, now. Back then when you were bulked, you couldn't see your pump, you didn't have veins, you didn't have vascularity, so you weren't as motivated because you weren't chasing that pump. But now when you get lean, you need that pump, you want that pump, you're fighting for that pump because you look insanely good with the pump, so you're more motivated to stay in the gym, work out and make insane progress there.